Welcome to Don't Call It Small, and I'm your host, Natasha Foreman. If you don't know about me and you have no clue what this podcast is all about, let me share a bit. I am the CEO of Foreman and Associates, and Don't Call It Small is where we talk all things business, share tips and news that you can use, and highlight the people and ideas behind the products and services that we buy. To learn more about me and my company, please visit ForemanLLC.com. Wow. Did you guys know that I've been under the weather? And I wanted to start off by sending love and prayers to my paternal family. My cousin Felicia Wallace transitioned last week unexpectedly, and our family is mourning her not being here. At the same time, we're celebrating her life and legacy. Today was her funeral, and it's really difficult to process all of this, especially because I couldn't attend because I've been under the weather for over a week now. And but my mom, she told me, she said that she was going to show up and make sure that she wore her purple in honor of Felicia, whose favorite color is purple. Felicia, cousin, I want you to know that you are loved and you are missed. Embrace your promotion, amazing one. I love you dearly. For those of you listening right now, if you don't mind, I'm going to pause to take a moment of silence for Felicia and for other people who have transitioned over the past several days. They are loved, they are missed, and we will all do our parts to keep their memories strong and alive. So let's pause and reflect on these great people. Thank you for that moment of silence. Today I'm not going to share any business news, but rather I'm going to introduce you to two super awesome men. But first, let me share a quote from John Quincy Adams. He's credited as saying, "If your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader." Now let's talk about two men that I personally know and have worked with in some capacity. They both inspire others to dream more, learn more, and become more. They are truly dynamic leaders. The first gentleman that I would like to introduce you to is a husband, father, visionary, advocate, and community organizer. We joined forces years ago in a startup tech company built on his idea of bringing adult mentors and youth together. It was called Storyboard Nation. And this man's name is Markeith Wood, and he's still doing amazing things to empower our youth. He's worked to build a community warriors network and provide a platform to give young people a voice called Soul Expressions Young Energy Sessions. They've launched in the state of Virginia and have a vision of expanding as more people see the value of this network and platform. Community warriors are active parents, teachers, coaches, leaders, volunteers, and you. The Soul Expressions sessions are for teens and their parents, and it's helping to bridge a gap by providing young people with access to valuable resources. Markeith is also a published author. In 2014, he wrote and published his book, GPS for Us, which is the Guide to Principles of Success for Us, which is available on Amazon and other retailers. GPS is an analogy for mentoring. Guidance is given when the driver sets the coordinates. A lot of people dream small and move with little confidence. With GPS, however, you gain confidence by believing what you have inside of you is greatness. Life is all about our relationships. Life is all about our stories and the experiences. The key is this: if you love yourself and work on yourself and do not accept failure as an ending, then success is yours. The GPS destination is that if you love yourself, develop yourself, and believe in the process, you will be successful. Well, when I read both of Markeith's paperback and Kindle versions, and when I read that statement, it just moved me. Matter of fact, in 2016, I wrote a review about his book that said, quote, "This is a great book not just for the youth, but also for adults. It's simple and to the point, which is exactly what we need in this era of smartphones and social media." And I still believe that to this day, 3 years later. It is a great book, and it's to the point, and it's not just for kids. It's not just for teenagers. It's for all of us. There's a lot that you can learn from this book, so definitely make sure that you pick up a copy for you and anyone else that you feel that can benefit from having this GPS coordinates in your life. To learn more about Markeith and the work that he's doing, please visit markeithwood.com. That's MarkeithWood.com. You can also follow him on social media at Markeith73. That's Markeith73. I am so proud of you, Markeith. Keep doing what you're doing. Now, the second gentleman that I'd like to introduce you to enlisted in the U.S. Air Force in 1975 and retired in 1994 at the rank of major. He held command positions in 5 separate assignments. He was recognized during his service as Company Grade Officer of the Year, Maxwell Air Force Base, and Outstanding Airman of the Year at Scott Air Force Base. And following retirement, he earned a master's degree in business administration and a PhD in organization and management. He held positions at the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, Federal Aviation Administration, several corporate management positions, a community action agency, and has taught at several colleges and universities, including teaching graduate courses for the Forbes School of Business. His name is Dr. Steve Woodsmall, and he's my friend and colleague. We were classmates in our doctoral program, and we've remained in contact for years, and it is an honor to be able to introduce you to Steve and to share more about him. He's been active in the Transylvania community of North Carolina, serving as the executive director for the Vision Transylvania Leadership Program, and he's a current member of the Transylvania County Planning Board. He's conducted seminars for the Transylvania County Chamber of Commerce, and he's also a former NCAA women's college basketball official and serves as a referee for high school basketball teams. He has 4 children and 6 grandchildren, and he resides with his wife in Pisgah Forest, North Carolina. Now, just like Markeith, Steve also wrote an amazing book that I also read twice, and I shared with everyone that I knew. It's entitled, "It Beats Eating Lizards: Lessons Learned in Life and Leadership." It's available on Amazon and with other retailers, and trust me when I say this, you will absolutely love this book. It's a collection of true short stories that illustrate the lessons in everyday experiences, such as the story of his selfless dying grandmother, the lady who gives the governor only 1 piece of chicken, the manager who runs out of a training course to unfire an employee, and the story of a 6-year-old girl who years later gives her father his own advice. The stories are going to either make you laugh, cry, or think, or all 3. They'll definitely give you those aha moments that you'll want to share with friends and family and your colleagues. In the short time it takes to read each meaningful story, you'll gain new perspective that will last a lifetime. And I mean truly, there's so much that Steve shared in this book that years later I still, refer to, I still can reflect back upon. So please make sure you purchase your copy today and then purchase some to share with your family, friends, and colleagues. Once again, it's entitled, "It Beats Eating Lizards: Lessons Learned in Life and Leadership," and it's available on Amazon and with other retailers. Now, I have some big and exciting and amazing news that I want to share about Steve. This man, this leader, this great person that I know is running for Congress. He's claiming this seat as a Democrat for North Carolina's 11th district. He wants to unseat the incumbent Republican Congressman Mark Meadows, who was first elected to the House in 2010. And then Steve wants to do everything possible to help solve North Carolina and the U.S.'s problems and support the needs of the people who make this country great. Steve is solution-oriented. There are no Republican or Democrat problems. There are only problems. And that's exactly how Steve sees it. These problems hurt average Americans. And Steve is fighting for the solutions that make sense for all of us. Let me share some of his positions on issues that affect all of us. When it comes to campaign finance, he believes in overturning the Citizens United decision. He says that it's time to get dark money and unlimited corporate funds out of our electoral process, and to show his commitment to this issue, he's not going to accept any corporate PAC money. His stance on electoral interference is very clear. He said that it's our right as Americans to have safe and secure elections, and as your congressman, he's going to work to hold those accountable for election interference and to create measures to keep it from happening again. When it comes to the matter of health care, Steve believes that it's a right, not a privilege, and he says that quality health care and affordable prescription drugs are a basic human right for everyone, especially our veterans. If you're concerned about social safety net programs like Social Security, Medicare, and unemployment, then please listen closely. Steve is focused on protecting these programs, understanding that the programs protect vulnerable populations in our society and that we need to protect these resources so that these citizens can continue to contribute to our society. Our country's been fighting for equality of the people who live here, and Steve believes in the fair and equal treatment for all human beings regardless of nationality, ethnic origin, color, religion, language, sexual orientation, gender identification, or any other status. He vows to protect and defend the rights of all LGBTQIA people as well as to protect and defend women's rights. With gun safety being an issue that we've struggled with for years, let me share Steve's position on that matter. He supports common sense gun regulation. He believes that gun safety is not a Second Amendment issue, it's a public safety issue. When we discuss taxes and finance as citizens in this country, it's always important to hear what those running for and in office think about this hefty issue. Steve says that he believes in a simpler, fair tax code to level the playing field for all Americans. He supports a living wage and believes that workers should share in the profits that they help to create. And when we talk about immigration and DACA, that's something else that's a very sensitive issue. And Steve believes that it's time for a comprehensive overhaul of our immigration system to better protect those seeking asylum and those who are seeking a better life in the United States, including legal protections for DACA recipients, providing a pathway for citizenship. When it comes to the environment, Steve understands the importance of protecting the land, water, and air in this entire planet for future generations. He also takes a common sense approach. When your state's focus is on tourism, I'll just say that, what better way to attract tourism in beautiful states like North Carolina than to take care of the environment? I mean, tourism is North Carolina's #1 industry, so taking care of the environment can generate more money for the state. Makes sense to me. When looking at and discussing infrastructure, Steve says that it's time that we reinvest in infrastructure in the U.S. and rural areas, including his own 11th district in North Carolina, that they all need equal access to high-speed broadband internet connection and investments for clean energy technologies. I mean, I don't know about you, but it sounds like the perfect opportunity for North Carolina to have a relationship with our episode 10 business, A2D Incorporated, who can meet the needs of North Carolina's rural and urban communities. That would be an amazing public-private partnership. Now, Steve supports net neutrality and reestablishing checks and balances to our government to hold public officials accountable. To learn more about his campaign, to donate or volunteer, please visit woodsmall4nc.com. That's Wood, W-O-O-D, small, the number 4, N as in North, C as in Carolina.com. Woodsmall4nc.com. You can also connect through social media on Instagram at Woodsmall4nc. He's on Twitter at Steve Woodsmall. And please go to his campaign website to get more information about his Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube pages. If you're interested in hosting a fundraiser event to help Steve's campaign, please visit woodsmall4nc.com. And let me be very clear, you don't need to live in North Carolina to host a fundraiser event for Steve. You can live anywhere in the U.S. Just contact his campaign to find out all of the ways that you can support Steve and help him in his efforts to make right the wrongs, fix what's broken, support what is weak, rebuild what was destroyed, and restore trust in a system that has been pilfered, pimped, and exploited. As Steve is quoted as saying, representatives are there for their constituents, not the multimillionaire, billionaire donors and corporations that strive to control our economy and our political system. And then he said in this announcement, I will focus every day on doing the right thing, not the political thing. I believe in reasonable solutions, not conservative or liberal solutions, and I ask my constituents across the district in whatever way they can by contributing their time and making small dollar donations to ensure that the voice and interests of the 11th District are heard in Washington. Ladies and gentlemen, I know Steve Woodsmall, and I know that he is a man of honor, dignity, and respect. I support his run for Congress and believe that he will make North Carolina proud and continue to make America proud, as he extends his service to this great country in yet another way. Once again, to learn more about Steve's campaign, to donate or volunteer, please visit woodsmall4nc.com. You can also connect through social media on Instagram at woodsmall4nc. He's on Twitter at Steve Woodsmall, and you can go to his campaign website to get more information about his Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube accounts. If you're interested in hosting a fundraiser event, once again, for any way, for any time, please visit woodsmall4nc.com. Now, with that, it's that time again. Time to wrap up and go our separate ways until next week. If you have questions or suggestions about this show, please email them to us at don'tcallitsmallbiz@gmail.com. Let me leave you with a quote. The author is unknown. So that means don't you try to take credit for it. The quote says, leaders instill in their people a hope for success and a belief in themselves. Positive leaders empower people to accomplish their goals. Ponder that. If you're not already following us on IG and Facebook, then please do. We can connect at Foreman and Associates. That's Foreman and Associates. And on Twitter at the number 4 MAN Associates. You can follow me on Instagram at Ms. Natasha Foreman. That's MS Natasha Foreman. And on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn at Natasha L. Foreman. Thank you for tuning in, sharing with others, and for your continued support. And don't forget what I tell you on each and every episode. Don't call what you're planning, thinking, dreaming, or doing little or small. Go big, go bold, or go nowhere. I'll see you next week for episode 12 of Don't Call It Small. Have a super awesome day.